Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another MapleStory video. It's Monday, Monday Maple. Fuck, which one is it? I don't know, man. Stop pressuring me. I'm gonna lose my mind if you pressure me. But boy, welcome to Monday Maple Musings, Maple Monday. No, it's Monday Maple because Maple Monday's Deboki's thing. God damn it. Young blood will get it right one of these days consistently. Anyways, it's to microwave the triple M, where we take a look at the subreddit over the last week, the MapleStory subreddit no less, and we just kind of hang out and talk. If that's not your cup of tea, no worries. Find something that is, brother. You deserve to watch the things that bring you happiness, but if you're sticking around, make sure to do some engagement stuff, because it makes me feel better. I'm a human on this planet, much like everyone else. So like, dislike, comment, fucking subscribe, all that shit, man. I don't know. Typically don't open the flex posts either, but this flex post in particular I'm gonna open because it's from marksmanbryan. He's a fucking OG. Let's open up some of these. Oh yeah, MapleStory is on macOS. That's kind of a big deal. Let's open up these and see where this gets us to start. Ren liberated yesterday, and then this entire sword is fucking cooked, bro. Okay. There's a couple different things immediately apparent with this weapon. One of these things is the flame. That's a T7 with boss flame. The boss roll isn't that great, but I mean, T7 plus boss period is not the easiest flame to hit in the world. Pretty much the only thing that's going to be better than that is a better T7 boss flame. Very good. And then obviously the potential itself is DP attack, which again, very expensive. This man sucked all my luck that I had left, took it straight from my Thunderbreaker's emblem and gave it to his sword. Honestly though, God bless. As long as some people are hitting, that means Nexon ain't winning. Mods date them for 8 years just to leave them for their best friend. Bro, that's fucked up. Everyone commenting on the fact that he lived when bro has an endgame flame and double prime pod already. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if this wasn't Challenger World, which it obviously is Challenger World, based on the diamond medal right there, you can see. Well, I guess it doesn't. No, yeah, it has to be Challenger World, because there's no way to get the medals off Challenger World yet. So yeah, this is definitely Challenger World just from the screenshot because it says the diamond medal. This is fucking insane even if it's not Challenger World, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, you could have infinite mesas and you'd have more access to, like, abyssal flames and shit, but, like, you'd still have to hit very, very good flame, very good potential. This shit, very expensive, very good. It actually exists, and this bro hits 3-line crit damage on his arcane gloves. That's rough, man. I fear the day that this happens to me. Probably will never happen to you or me because it's so goddamn rare, but if this were to happen to me and it happened to me on like an arcane piece or like a fucking Absolab piece, I would have went to the rope and chair store, let me tell you. But obviously this is a really good pot until you get Eternal Gloves, so I mean it is what it is. But it just sucks to have this on an item that you will eventually get rid of. But it's still nasty either way, especially on a mule. Like, if this is like a Legion Champion mule, Eternals don't fucking matter on that shit, unless you're, like, planning on second maining it type beat. So this pot's fire for that. But I just mean from, like, a main perspective only. This is insane. Mods give him 22-star Eternal Gloves. That's what I'm saying. I hope you hit 30-star Eternal Gloves that never see 2-line crit. Mules never struggle. Yeah, so this guy, this is like best case scenario to hit a triple prime crit damage on an arcane glove then. Because if it's a mule, you probably don't give a shit about Eternals. Like, maybe someday you will, but it's not something that's on the top of the docket, so to say. And then this is marksmanbryan's post about him finishing Monster Collection. This motherfucker is a gamer, bro. Straight up gamer. Gamer in the capital G sense of the word. Bro's been working on Monster Collection. He has a breakdown here. And the main thing that I remember is, like, when Limbo came out, he was one away and he missed it when Limbo came out. So he was basically like, I'll never hit this ever again. And then he finally hit it. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah. Came back to reboot on a fresh account in April 2020. So yeah, it's been a little bit over 5 years. That's why he's the GOAT. Anyways, congrats, King. Glad to see. You're one of the old people that I remember from back when I played Reboot initially. But that's not a surprise. The community was much, much smaller back then. And then we have this post. The issue with laddering. GMS Heroic Starforcing is broken. With the new Starforce changes, a new meta has arrived in GMS Heroic. Laddering. This post is a short dive in the numbers of why this is terrible for our server and why Inkwell needs to be pressured to add more, or do more for Go West. GMS is the only heroic server left. We need heavy-handed balance patches when porting content over from Korea. It will only come from next on North America. Certain things just don't make sense, and it feels like this is being glossed over. What is laddering? Starforcing rare items. Laddering is the method. Sorry. I don't do this intentionally. I mean, sometimes I do, but this time I was confused. I got confused. I forgot. I don't know how to read, but the words just, yeah. Okay. Laddering is a method of starforcing rare items like Pitcher Eternals and Steps. For example, you ladder them from 22 onwards. You get the first item to 22, you get a new item, star that's 22 before attempting 23. Once both hit 23, you can attempt 24, and so on. So an easier way, here, let me try to visualize this for y'all, in case you need it. I'm sure a lot of people don't need it, but okay. For example, let's say, what do you have? Okay, we have slime rings here. Very easy to visualize, right? Imagine this slime ring is 22, okay? I have this slime ring 22. I would not star this slime ring to 23 until I have 2 of them at 22. Then I would star the one that I'm not wearing to 23, because if it goes, then I can star the one that I'm wearing to 23. If it booms, then I recube and repot. That's what recubing is. I meant reflame, but you can't flame rings. But most pieces of gear you can flame, so that's the point. You would then recube, reflame the ring that went to 23, and then equip it, because you now have a 23 ring. But the problem with that, obviously, is the fact that you need a bunch of dupes to do this, and you also have to recube, repot. Recube, repot. Jesus Christ. It's the same thing. Recube, reflame, which isn't a investment, you know? Especially if you have DP items, which a lot of people do. It just sucks. And then obviously, since this is no longer a ring, you would then get another ring. You'd Starforce this one up to 23, and then you'd rinse and repeat. You'd Starforce the 23 ring. If one of them hits 24, you'd Starforce the other 23 until it hits 24. You just repeat this process with new spares for as long as it takes, for as high as you want to go. And that is what laddering is, in essence. Why ladder if it's so inefficient? If you make use of all the new pitched pity systems, replacing a 22-star pitch takes about 4 months on average. That's a long time to be set back. This goes up exponentially as you start attempting for 24+ stars, years of progress lost. So, the realistic reason why you do ladder instead of just starforcing the main pitched item is, again, here, I'll go back to the game again to use this as an example. So let's say I starforce this Daybreak, okay? It's 22 stars. I get it to 23 stars. Or my goal, ultimately, let's say, is to get it to 25 stars. Right? So I'm starforcing. Eventually, it booms, and I don't have any dupes left. Well, that's a problem, right? Or let's say I even have 1 dupe left. So I transfer it over to my last dupe, and I'm like, well, shit. I can only get it to 18 now, right? So that means I lose stars. Who likes losing stars? Nobody likes losing stars. People do not like going down in power. Rightfully so. And with the limited access to dupes for items like pitched specifically, you start doing the same thing but with pitched, right? Like you have the pitched items. Some of them are a little bit different, but like for the Berserk, right? Imagine I tried to get this Berserk to 23. It booms instantly. Then what? I have a 18-star Berserk now? That's why you ladder, right? That's why you ladder despite it being inefficient. Because it's realistically the only way to make gains past a certain point reasonably. Obviously, you can always just hit. I don't think there's anyone arguing against just hitting, but that's not a real method to starforcing. Just hit isn't real. Why doesn't KMS ladder? They don't need to. In a server, you can buy spares at will. Booming is not a massive issue. Well, this is 100% not entirely true. Okay, I should say not 100% entirely untrue. Obviously, they can buy spares, so it's less of an issue, but to say it's not a massive issue is... I mean, it's not true, right? The shit costs meso, and meso is time investment or money investment, so there's still a cost basis around it, but I understand what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that assuming you have infinite meso or infinite resources, you're not limited based on the rate at which you can acquire spares. You're limited at the rate at which you can purchase the spares. It sounds like the same thing, but it's a little bit different. Okay? Because, like, on Reboot, you're not limited... Like, you can't go to an NPC or the auction house and buy, like, a Berserk for 15 bill. Like, you just do not have that option. Your options are getting one every, like, 4 or 3.5 or 4 months from the pity system, or supplementing that with, like, trace restoration every, like, 3 or 4 months. Both of which require an item. Well, okay, not both of which require an item. The Starcore one does. I also forgot about the Starcore one. So there's 3 different ways you can restore traces. 2 of them require you to already have a boomed item. 1 of them gives you a brand new item. Okay? But you get what I'm saying, and I also understand what he's saying. But I don't think it's as black and white as, like, oh, it doesn't matter because they can just trade. There's a little more nuance to it than that, right? I think it's fair to say. Mesos are the main gate, not spares. Yeah, so I guess he goes on to follow it up. I guess I should have kept reading a little bit, but still. Coming off very strong like this, I feel like is a little bit disingenuous. Anyways, but that's what I mean. Mesos are the gate, or the way you acquire them. The way you acquire them isn't the gate. The resources to acquire them is the gate, right? That's the whole idea. This means it can be brute force. Worth noting, laddering also costs a lot more mesos. It wouldn't make sense to do that. And then here's some percentage chances about averages. Laddering versus not laddering, which I think mostly are irrelevant, because obviously you know it's going to be more expensive on average, right? It's not going to be double, but it's going to be a little bit under 1.5x, I think. I mean, I could just look at the numbers. This is a little bit under 1.5x. Yeah, it seems like my assessment's about right. Because I'm not the greatest at math. Yeah, it's 1.4... I mean, you could read this as 1.48, 1.37, because these are all just decimals, basically. And it's the percentage change increase in dupes needed from laddering versus not laddering for estimated star counts, right? I'm sitting here, like, fucking holding my chin, fucking closing my eyes. I'm fucking deep in thought, trying to think, how much of an increase is this? And it's literally just right in front of me. I do that a lot, you'll come to find. But that's the charm of me, you know? You're not coming here for information most of the time. And if you are, you're watching a video that's very clearly titled, like, Guide. Anyways. In the untradeable server where we have the least methods of accessing rare items, we've now been pushed into a meta where we're forced to use 1.4 to 1.7x as many as the server was designed for. Huge problem for our server, adding a few more pitch to gear with the current pitch, pity, plus whatever familiar system just won't fix the root problem. Booming items is designed to promote scarcity and economic balance in an interactive server. Has no place in a non-trading world. We need our own unique Starforce system in heroic worlds to fix this. Many ways to fix this. Have it when an item breaks, it doesn't drop stars, you can still wear it, like Maple Mobile, only needing a spare to carry on trying to improve it, regardless of how they fix it. We really need to push for this to be fixed. So, again, I don't know all the, like, inherent methods that you could use to, like, fix the issue, but I think it's very clearly obvious to, like, pretty much anyone who has ever interacted with the Starforcing system in general that it is not well designed and it's not fun to interact with. And I think that's what a lot of people got confused about when I said the new Starforcing system is good, because it is good when you compare it to the old Starforcing system, right? And that's what people were doing. People were saying new Starforcing is so bad compared to old Starforcing. No, new Starforcing is way better than old Starforcing. It's just you can't tap off event. But Starforcing itself still sucks ass. They didn't change anything about Starforcing, right? So Starforcing as a whole sucks ass. New Starforcing is way better than old Starforcing. You know, there's nuance, man. And we gotta be specific about what we're talking about, you know? Completely agree with everything you've raised. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that the subreddit is the right audience, but I appreciate that there are fewer, no other platforms that make longer form posts like this with good reach. Fundamentally, the Starforce system doesn't make a lot of sense for Heroic because of the risk involved with destruction. As you suggested, having to ladder everything is high friction and cringe. High friction and cringe. This dude's writing like a fucking thesis and then he just drops cringe. Yes. The subreddit may not be the right audience. I appreciate that there are fewer, no other platforms to make longer form posts. Having to ladder everything is high friction and, well, quite honestly, a bit cringe. I love it. Oh man, the internet's fun sometimes. I think changing the circumstances after booming by letting the item be worn without reducing the stars and requiring restoration to continue upgrades is a good solution, personally. Nexon employs similar patterns in at least one of their other games that I know of, Mabinogi, so it's not a pattern completely alien to them. I think it's unfortunate that the system level changes like this are unlikely to happen because of how risky it is to diverge and have them make design decisions down the line that are increasingly difficult to reconcile with the designs coming out of KMS. Thankful for your effort to bring the issue to the forefront anyways. I mean, yeah, I think it's always been, like, abundantly clear that Starforcing has severe issues, right? And the gap between the classic people who just employ the method of just hit versus the ones who can't just hit is only going to continue to get worse. And I think that's what the new Starforcing system really exemplifies. Obviously, MapleStory is a marathon, not a sprint of a game. And what I mean by that is the longer you play the game, the better off you'll be. And it's like you could look at that statement and be like, well, no shit. It goes like, it's like that for any game, right? But what I mean more so is that there are a lot of long-term systems present in MapleStory that if you are on like expected pace for like regular averages or median rolls, a lot of these things are going to take a very long time for you to hit that rate, or like the for dupes, for example, right? If it's like on average like 7 dupes to hit a 23-star item, right? You could just hit it in one item and have 0 booms, right? You could do that, but it will take you time to gather 7 copies of this item, even if it's something as small as like a slime ring, right? It'll take you time to gather 7 copies of that slime ring. So MapleStory has always kind of been more marathon versus sprint, but it doesn't change the fact that the Starforcing system just doesn't feel good to interact with, mostly because your item is either wearable or it's a ghost. There is no in between. I'm not sure if keeping traces equipable is the solution. I don't know. It would certainly be a solution, and I don't think it would be necessarily a terrible solution. Another solution that I have always kind of thought about is a trace just restores to the stars that it boomed at. You could make that a heroic-only change if necessary, right? I think that would be more than fair too, right? Because then, if you had a dupe, you could tap the one you're wearing, and if it booms, which it is very likely to boom, you can just transfer the trace to the item spare that you have and lose nothing. Is that so bad? It seems like an obvious solution to me, but... And again, you could make that for only heroic if you need to, because I can understand why they wouldn't necessarily want it for interactive. I get that. Though I think interactive probably could do with having it too, truthfully. I mean, shit. Would it be such a bad thing? You would still need a ton of fucking dupes to push these higher stars, even in that scenario in which the transfer just gave you back all of the stars that you lost. Because getting a duplicate item in itself is still effort, even in interactive. You know? I don't know. That's my thoughts initially on it, but yeah, obviously this shit sucks ass. I don't know what else to say. I do think going up to 30 stars isn't necessarily a bad change either, but I do think we need some GMS-specific changes to supplement, for sure. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. MapleStory is now a Mac OS. Woo, Mac OS. What a glorious day to cancel GeForce Now. Just canceled mine. Holy fuck. I don't know. More support for different operating systems is never a bad thing, especially Mac. Because I know a lot of people have Macs. So fuck it. More people can play the game? Hell yeah, brother. Fire whoever's in charge of the cash shop. It's either bears, bunnies, cats, or $100 for a Harry coupon. There's no in between. They gotta bring back the anime clothes. I mean, they're not bringing back collab clothes or outfits, cash shop covers and shit. I think there's like some weird shit with the collab where you can only have them running for a certain period of time, so I don't think they're literally allowed to bring them back. But yeah, cash shop. Some of the cash shop sales make me question things. Why is there an RNG pity? Why is there RNG in a pity system, Starcore? Well, Starcores aren't a pity system, but I understand what he means. The pity system is the pitched crystals. Starcores are something completely separate. Luck should not play a factor in a pity system, specifically the Starcore system. We get 10 boxes a day to gamble for mysterious star specs, need 50 to get a single restore. Whole point of a pity system is to guarantee you something. Like, well, again, this isn't a pity system. I know it's semantics, I guess, sort of, but it's not the pity system. It's just not. It's a restoration system. And they made a very obvious distinction between the two in the Inkwell note. So I think we can bitch about the system for sure, because I think there's room to bitch. But let's just not call it a pity system, because that's not what it is, right? Let's use our words correctly. Also, yeah, it is kind of funny. On top of this, we just released the Soul Earth Fragment daily into a weekly, only to immediately introduce a system that requires daily farming that can sometimes take even longer than 3k mobs. Bro, it doesn't take sometimes longer than 3k mobs, it always does. 3k mobs is like 7-8 minutes of grinding at a max cap map. You're not finishing that shit in 8 minutes. The system doesn't sometimes takes longer than 3 kills, it always does. I mean, I will say, I think the Starcore system is probably the best restoration method we have, which is interesting to me as to why this isn't being complained about, like, the boss trace restoration mission, because I think the boss trace missions are way, way, way worse than the Starcores. Because not only do you have to sacrifice your real boss runs to do these shitty missions to get a paltry amount of points, but the restoration point amounts are completely fucking random. Makes no sense the number they picked for the shit. A Breath of Divinity is like 700 traces to restore, which is the fucking Giga Whale item in interactive. But like a Source of Suffering is like 1250 points to restore. An Eternal item is like 1700 points to restore. What the fuck are we doing? Like, what do you mean? The numbers are just completely random. The Starcore system itself, I think, is pretty much fine, aside from the variance on specs. I do think there probably shouldn't be variance on specs. But my copium take is that over a long enough period of time, kind of like I mentioned, the marathon not a sprint thing, averages will average out, because that's how math works. It just doesn't feel good in the immediate now. And I mean, they always could change it. Always open to that. But, I don't know. Me personally, I think the boss trace restoration shit is way worse than Starcores. I think the Starcores are probably the best way to restore things, right? Sub-hour of grinding every day, and it takes like 2.5, 3 months on average to hit a pitched restore. That's way better than I thought. Like, honestly, the pitched pity system and the Starcore system are both way better than I thought, and the trace boss mission is probably about on par for what I thought all of the systems would be like. so not good. Like, it's better that it exists than to not exist, but yeah, you don't know what I mean. Variance is fucked anywhere from like 10 or 40 minutes in Carcion. Should also increase it to like 50 boxes for heroic. Well, see, this is what I mean. I feel like these are at odds with each other. Complaining about it taking anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes to farm the 10 boxes, but then also on the same hand saying it should increase the limit to like 50 boxes for heroic. You'd have to be grinding multiple hours to get 50 boxes then. Or are you suggesting that they make it so you can get 50 boxes in like 10 minutes? Because I feel like we can't have both, right? Am I crazy for this? And this is kind of why I think I like the Starforce system so much as it is, because the box limit is hittable fast enough to make it so people who don't want to giga grind every single day can still benefit from the system at its max potential, while also not punishing them, and also not making it so the people who grind like 12 hours a day consistently just gap everyone leagues and leagues. Not that it really matters, but you know what I mean. People always like to point out like what other people have versus what they themselves have. So I think it's a fair assessment. But I don't know. I don't know, genuinely. Let me know what you guys think. That's not the pity system, though. Hey, somebody else read the thing. Somebody else knows how words work. But yeah. Important to use our correct words. Stars are not the pity system. Hey! Anyways. Do let me know what you guys think, because I'm interested to hear what you guys think in terms of, like, ways to improve, which systems are good, which systems are bad. Because like I said, I think personally the pity system and the Starforce system are mostly fine. It's just the boss one that I think is ass. Like, straight ass. No part of it is good. At least if they made it so you could do the boss trace restoration missions in practice mode, I could forgive it a little bit more. But the fact that it needs your real clear on top of everything else, like on top of the numbers being completely fucked and just randomly selected, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way. I'm glad that it exists, because at least it's something, but that something can be way better, and I hope they change it to be way better. Anyways, like the video if you like it, subscribe, I'll see you guys on the next one. God damn, we almost yapped for 30 minutes, holy. Thank you to my YouTube members, It's Biscuits and Your Diz, Remix My Life, love all you guys very, very much, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye!